one day we hope that general ecosystem models will indeed model all life on Earth. But in the Madingley model, which we hope is a big step towards a truly general ecosystem model that covers all life on Earth, we had to make some choices about which life to include and which life for the moment to exclude, and also which processes, which ecological processes to include, and which ones to either treat phenomenologically or to ignore altogether. The principle we used was we wanted a model that could be applied to the majority of the world's ecosystems on land and in the ocean, and in principle the Madingley model is also applicable to freshwater ecosystems on land, but that's something we've not done yet. In terms of the processes, we wanted everything in the model from the life history of single organisms up through population and community ecology to the ecosystem scale to emerge from ecological rules defined at the level of individuals. And also we had to be a bit pragmatic sometimes in making decisions about what we understood well enough and what for the moment we didn't understand well enough, either in the community or as individuals, what we could cope with. So what we ended up with was a model which treats all of the multicellular organisms, so from the very, very smallest little aphids and things like that, all the way up. In the part of the terrestrial ecosystems which is fed by leaves above ground. So we actually don't treat the below ground ecosystem. We don't do single-celled organisms, so we don't do amoeba or even smaller all the way down to bacteria and viruses. And similarly on the ocean, in the ocean, we use the same approach, so we simulate all the multicellular organisms from the very smallest ones all the way up, but we don't treat the benthic part of the ocean, so that the ocean floor. So it's just the surface and what we call the pelagic part of the ocean. But nonetheless, so we could keep quibbling about exactly what constitutes a general ecosystem model. So we still have some way to go, but we do think that this is a model which is, relatively general in the sense that it can be applied to the majority of the world's ecosystems on land and ocean and freshwater, and which has a sufficiently rich set of ecological processes and therefore ecological output that it can be, for example, interface with the majority of ecological research and the majority of conservation work and conservation questions.